Let's start the project with a quick look at the finished product to see what we have to accomplish. And you can see it on the screen right now. We have a classic two-column design with main content on this left-hand side and additional blocks on this right. The main navigation menu is on the top right corner here. This is designed to hold both aggregation links and some extra links to perhaps news articles and a discussion forum. We will not build those as we already know how to do that very well from previous projects. Of course, the real focus of this project is on custom content types that we will create. The main content on the front page is a reverse chronology listing of the film reviews in a teaser view. All of these are teasers. Notice the teaser view now. The image is a clickable link which will lead to the full article. There is a short auto-generated summary text. Following that is a review rating and the reviewer name. This rating is actually implemented by a clever custom field, and it is not simple text. At the end of the teaser are standard links, read more and login to post comments. There are major advantages to building custom fields, and that is being able to list, filter and sort. That will be covered in a future section on Drupal views. Now on the right column, I have a standard search box appearing first, followed by a custom HTML text block that you see here. This block is actually an advertisement to join our special membership movie club. For example, you can actually go ahead and add a PayPal button here with a simple HTML line. Those who pay will get membership to the site. More about that later. Following that is another custom block that you can see here, which holds a custom menu built from the taxonomy terms created in this project. This is to improve the usability of the site. The taxonomy, of course, provides a classification of the content on our site. The very bottom of the left column, I have added a standard user login block. I have consequently removed the default standard user account menu that normally appears at the top right side of the site. A standard footer is nicely available from the theme, but I haven't added anything here. It's available if you want to use it later. So what are the design principles of this project? First, we will again only use a Drupal core. No external modules used since we haven't covered that yet. Of course, an external free theme is used in this project. We will not make any major modifications at all to the theme. We will use it as is. My intention is to select a theme with a sober, professional looking design, as close as possible to the rogerebert.com site that I had shown earlier. Note, there are a few good external modules that provide this ratings or a review, such as 5-star, rate, and star. But since we are not using any external modules yet, I have implemented a simple hack to get this 5-star rating using just content type fields. I will show you how that works later. I have added 2 optional custom blocks just to encourage you to explore. But how that is done is really for future lessons. With that, now let's begin the project. Step 1. Start with a clean install of Drupal core. I have used a Drupal 8.3.2 for your information. Go to the configuration on the admin menu and then basic site settings. Set the site name and the slogan. Save and return back once again to the configuration screen. And this time go to this people section, account settings page. Here look at who can register accounts. Make this as administrators only. I am doing this to show you a technique that will allow only special visitors who express interest explicitly or pay some fees will become members of the movie club I mentioned earlier. Only they can comment on reviews, and you can give special permissions and so on if you want. By making this setting, you are also automatically removing the user self-registration that normally appears on the user login block. You will have seen that earlier. And then next step will be to select a theme and install it. I have used a free theme called Showcase Lite. You can see the URL here, drupal.org project showcase underscore lite. This is a free version of a premium theme. I do not endorse this theme or any other products in any way throughout the course. This theme looks great, but since it is a free version of a premium theme, it has limitations I will show later. Moving on to step number 3, I have actually downloaded that theme and placed the theme in the correct location in my directory structure. There are lessons on this earlier, and now that downloaded theme will show up on your appearance themes page as it is showing here now. I will install and make it as a default. Based on your own theme choice, configure the site name, slogan, front page, etc. as necessary. Make only basic configurations at the beginning. We can always come back to this later. Okay, the theme has been installed. I will show you the settings available for this theme. Okay, there are a lot of tabs available here on this theme, and only the basic settings are actually available. You can see that the theme owners have disabled these additional nice features completely. But still, for the purpose of this project, we don't need any of these special abilities. So just let us return to the home page, and you can see that the theme has been very nicely applied. At this stage, you should also go and change the logo and the fav icon, and these are available to you as downloads. Moving on to step number 4, this will be to create a new taxonomy terms called as film genre and film certification. The terms for both of these vocabularies are at the bottom of the downloadable instructions file. You should go ahead now and create them. After you do so, this is how they will look. Just make sure to give meaningful descriptions everywhere. Tags are inherited from Drupal core and it will be available for you to use. After that, with the step 5 comes the main part of the project. Go to structure, content types, and create a new custom content type like this called as film review. Once again, use the instructions file for the details that you can paste into this form. The name, you can see the details here. Okay, so the name will be film review, and I will also give a meaningful description. And now for these tabs, submission form settings, there are no basic changes for us, and publishing options also no major changes. Display settings, disable this author and date information checkbox. This is because we will create a separate author field later on that will hold the review author's name. And in the menu settings, disable all the menus. Save and go to the manage fields page. For step 6 now, we will add 13 new custom fields to the new content type created, and also one of the existing fields image, and followed by our 2 new taxonomy terms that we had created earlier. All of these should be added to this content type using this add field one by one. You have to look up the downloadable instructions file for the field names and the data types that is given in this square brackets. The standard body field is to be renamed, just the name, as review, and then create the other fields one by one. Amongst all of these, this review rating field is going to be special. you have to make it as a list of integers. There is an explanation here. I have used a plain ASCII characters to create a star rating. This is a technique I have used to bypass using an external module to get a star rating. There are several modules that will create the same with more features, like using nice images to show the star rating, and also the ability to use half stars and some more features like that. But since we are not using external modules, you can use this perfectly well to create the star rating. From this existing fields, you should add image, and you can also add tags in real life situations. But when I added and I was using it, I was getting some minor error with it, and I did not want to do any fixes for it right now in the project. So I am not going to dwell on that more in the rest of the project. After you have added all the new fields, then go ahead and also add the taxonomy terms that we had created for film genre and film certification. Detailed instructions on adding fields one by one are shown in the previous section. And if in doubt at any step, you should review the previous lessons. If I actually showed it again in this lesson, it would make this lesson a couple of hours long. So in the interest of time, I'm going ahead. After adding all the fields that we need, this is how it is going to look. Let me quickly show you how this will look also. Review rating. You can see the field settings tab. This is what I have pasted. A load values list. This will give you that drop down list. Okay. Step 7 will be now to look at the input side of the content type, and that is from this manage form display tab. You should drag and arrange the fields as how you would like them to appear in the content creation form. While you do that, I will now give you some rules of thumb, informal guidelines on how to design this form. Point A will be that the title or the name should always appear first on the screen. This should be the first thing that you should enter. Point B, more important data and the required fields should ideally appear higher on the form, and don't keep it at the bottom of the form. Third guideline will be that related data as much as possible should be grouped together. Okay. The fourth guideline for you is that any trivial data should ideally sync to the bottom of the page. These are some informal guidelines for you that you can follow always when designing input forms. Okay. And for some additional usability, you can make this authored by the widget for it as autocomplete. It works pretty nice. And then all the other widget choices for you are of course in the instructions file. You can just use them. After you have done all of this, if you actually go into the film review content type creation page, we will have a fully functional content type. We have not yet done a critical part, that is output formatting, but the content type itself will be fully functional, and you should now use this to go ahead and experiment with creating a few film reviews. If there are any mistakes at any point of time in the field creation, etc., you will be able to identify and correct them by creating some content before we go to designing the output. It will also give you some ideas on how your final reviews should show on the screen. And with that, I will end the lesson at this stage. Next, we will take a tiny diversion to talk about a very interesting topic, and then we will return back to complete the project.